Soldiers of my old guard, Wellington is beaten. Don't you understand? Where's your faith? I've been in this position before at the Battle of Marengo. I lost the battle at 5 o'clock, but I won it back again at 7! Hunter! Hunter! Stand with me! Are you friends?
32,000 men, 200 units and only 2 players. Welcome to one of the most challenging and yet inspiring battles ever fought in Napoleon Total War. And now on the outskirts of Madrid, Spain and France face off one last time to decide the ultimate winner of the campaign. But to realise the stakes in the game, we must first go back to how it all began.
Really bad the game plays. Wow.
What the? Oh. He grabbed.
What?
In the previous Italian campaign, I had just won a huge victory over mod owner and self-proclaimed master of Napoleon Total War, Dan the Mantis. I was pretty confident then in my ability to outplay Dan on the campaign map, but this time it would be a completely different story. Welcome to Spain 1811. The French, played by myself, have occupied Spain, aside from a few isolated cities in the south and Valencia. The Portuguese and the British also have a presence, but they would not really get involved. My main focus was the Spanish, played by Dan himself.
Mr. Tima!
Dan would have local numerical superiority to start with, but once I could bring forces together, I would be able to crush him, piece by piece, just like I did in Italy. After a few inconsequential victories for both sides,
Just you wait to the land battle.
which saw Dan take Triol but lose armies, it was time for the first major battle of the series at the Spanish capital, Seville. Was this the moment when the French, just like in Italy, would crush the Spanish economy and destroy any hopes of Spanish conquest? Miraculously, and due to some very poor luck for me, Dan holds onto Seville by the skin of his teeth and consolidates his position. After losing Marshal Massena to a poor move against the Portuguese,
Oh my gosh. That was so dumb.
No!
I was forced to play defensive in the south for now, and instead build up an attack in the north.
If I lose this, Dan is free to go after Madrid. He's free to go after, so it goes up here.
A major clash between huge armies happened outside the town of Triol, but despite the odds being against him, Dan pulled off another spectacular victory.
Not good, guys. Really not good.
I was so sure I was going to lose that first battle. It was horrifying.
Over the next several turns, Badajoz fell in spectacular fashion,
What the? Oh.
with Spanish grenadiers leading the charge to freedom.
Come on, Grenadiers. You're Grenadiers. It's what you do.
And General MacDonald, now commanding the new huge force in Madrid, decided to face the Spanish on the outskirts of the city. The battle to decide the fate of the campaign was about to begin.
This is going to be one of the biggest battles in all of Total War.
Now hold on. I know what you're all saying. This does not look like the campaign. Yes, well done. It's not, and the reason for that is as follows. We wanted to have a 100 versus 100 unit battle in the campaign to send off the series, but getting that to work artificially was proving a problem. We first had to sit for over 20 turns to get the correct building for elite units, and then had to lower upkeep costs. This seemed to break the AI, and even worse, this gave the British a huge influx of cash to then use to attack Madrid.
If they attack us, we can just retreat their armies.
And so we decided to raise the upkeep cost for the British exclusively.
Okay, 83 million upkeep costs for each of them.
But this seemed to break the AI even more. Oh, and of course, the desyncs. I've got the
Ooh.
town behind me, so yeah.
Desync.
So making this scenario organically wasn't going to work. Besides, the maps are always so small and usually quite boring. So we thought, what if we could make this work in a custom battle? What you are looking at now is actually the largest 1v1 ever created in a Total War game. 100 units per side, so 200 altogether. We did, however, set some rules for this battle. Max 5 elite units that could inspire, max 5 heavy cavalry, because heavy cavalry in this game can scare other units, max 5 artillery, we'll come to that in a little bit, and also we had to bring a selection of units, no spamming, and as you can imagine, it's quite easy to forget what you've bought.
First of all, not only is this going to be one of the coolest finales of a series I've ever seen in my life, I think this is going to be one of the biggest battles in Total War.
Ever.
Definitely for Napoleon. Definitely for Napoleon. First of all, this is the largest 1v1 that's ever been fought, I think, in like all of Total War. So this is, I'm excited now. This is going to be really hard for both of us to manage, but if we fight this well.
But first of all, we had to actually get into the game. We had never tested this many units in game before, and so loading in was a little bit tense. Oh, it started.
Yeah, seeing as the game does run.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
You could do it. Get us in the map. It's really deciding whether it wants to play today.
Still not fully loaded in yet.
I don't mind. I think it's moving our taskbars at the same time.
Oh, then.
Me too, and it's actually not lagging too bad.
Oh my God, it's like either. Holy sh! I have so many units. This right now is going to be loading like it's a 4v4.
Welcome to the final battle of the Spanish campaign. This map is absolutely amazing and allows us to deploy across a wide front between two rivers. In the centre of the map is a ridge with several buildings. We both agree that whoever controls these buildings by the end of the game will win. The ridge also hides any opposing forces from each other, and so neither of us know what the other has bought or where we are concentrating our forces. But now I'm going to hand it over to Dan and myself as we share our in-game strategy to win this crucial battle. So what's the plan? Well, very simply, we're going to take this side of the map, anchor ourselves on this stream. I'm going to put my artillery up here. We're going to use this house as our flank, if we can get up there, that is. So we're going to defend on the right, and we're going to push on the left.
This is going to be interesting. I've put a lot of troops here just to cover this side. I think I've got more than enough in just this army here to cover this. But these are going to be kind of reserves, and then I've got these reserves here, the Extremadura.
We have a reserve cuirassier back here for Max Chev. They are going to be insanely powerful, so we have to keep them until the last third of the battle, I think.
These guys, Voluntarios, are my best guys. They've got 16 accuracy. They're really good. I'm going to put them up here. They're going to be my main shooting force. I've got all my grenadiers. I'm going to put them behind this hill. And I'm basically going to try and screen this hill, because I've got these guys here. I can see what he's doing. I'm going to try and slow him down, screen the hill, place my artillery, and then hopefully push up here, maybe put some more artillery along here. Because I've got 12 pounders. My main thing I'm going to use them for is just canister.
But notice that our grand battery is now very grand. It has an extra 4 guns in it, which is insane. And we have 2 artillery cheval, which are also our Cheved units as well.
These guys obviously going to hold this side, probably holding this like mountain bit, and with the road behind them, so if I need to retreat I can run faster over them. Put a little 12 pounder up here maybe.
We want to get our artillery set up pretty much. We could set up over here. Kind of half tempted to do that because he can't even attack us from this position.
I don't really know what's going to happen here. That's the thing, is I'd say I want to do this, but if he reaches this before me, I'm screwed. But yeah, that's really my plan. It's just, I'm going to go with the flow here. I have no idea what's going to happen.
So if we had the grand battery, oh my gosh, we had the grand battery there. Are these horse artillery? They are. Okay, let's pop them over here then.
I get the feeling he's going to put all his elite guys in the middle and just try and blast up the centre, which is why I'm going to try and put infantry here. So if he does blast up the centre, I'm just going to smack him with some useless infantry units, charge with the cav, and try and wipe out whatever elite guys he has. My grenadiers will probably beat him because I've shoved them. This is going to be where most of the fighting is, I think. It's just going to be wave after wave after wave after wave. And hopefully, if he funnels enough guys in here, I'm just going to swing the flanks around like this and then hook round them and then encircle them. If you can't tell I'm a little nervous, it's because this is the finale. If I win this, I win it for Spain. I've had a lot of people messaging me, a lot of people with support, good luck in the campaign, and also my own YouTube channel. Since starting this campaign with Atomic, I've gained quite a lot of subscribers. I posted my own video and it's already my most viewed video. I can't thank Atomic enough. Like I said earlier, we first spoke about a year ago, putting me in this position so we can fight this awesome battle.
Thanks Dan from the past. All of the support has been shown to the series has kept me going on the editing grind and has skyrocketed this channel upwards, which has been awesome to see. But let's go and share the love. Go and subscribe to Dan the Mantis, link in the description, and all the other boys. Midgard, who's given me a lot of advice with animation and expertise and has lent me his amazing unit block and unit card concepts. Terminator, who's been supporting this channel from the very beginning. Go and subscribe to all the other Total War YouTubers that have left lovely comments like Melkor, the French Monk, Matt's Fiefdom, Red Zed, Lionsberg Cinematics, Kaiser Total War, This is Total War, and many others. Go and subscribe to them right now and show support for this community. But now it really is time we got on with this battle to see who will be crowned King of Spain and who will be left out in the dust. Buckle your seatbelts, grab a cup of tea, because this is going to be a fantastic, fantastic ride. Roll that music. With both sides now drawn up facing one another, let's take a look at the strategies at play. Dan's strategy is to secure the hill as soon as possible, moving cavalry and infantry up to support his advanced guerrilla units. Then once secure, he plans to defeat me on the flanks and swing round to attack my centre. Realising the importance of holding onto the hill, Dan places his most elite units in the centre. Myself, on the other hand, have a different strategy. I knew I could not attack everywhere at once, and so instead chose to launch an attack on the left, where I would have support from my flanking guns, and in the centre, where I was hoping my Grand Battery would help me grind down Dan's units until I was able to successfully assault his position. I was hoping that Dan would move units from his middle to his right flank, allowing me to press my attack on the centre of the map. I hoped to use some of the defensive buildings on the right flank to hold back any counter-attacks that Dan might be brewing. The only thing left to do was let loose the dogs of war, but first, a little bit of pre-battle banter.
I'm feeling nervous here. I'm feeling really nervous.
You should be, because I've got a lot of good stuff.
You ain't the only one, buddy.
Buddy.
Okay. You're making fun of the accent now. And if I see, you can put this in the video topic, if I see a single one of you f***ers saying something like, I would have actually done this, or I would have actually done this, I don't f***ing care, okay? Understand? You're not playing right now. You're not. I already know once we go into this battle, we're gonna have some serious micro. If I don't catch a cavalry charge,
or square,
or square, it's not because I'm bad. It's because there's 100 units on this battlefield. This has basically never been done before.
Also, you have to remember, we're both going to be diverting each other's attention, so of course we're going to miss stuff. That's the point.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Okay. I'm good. I think I'm ready. You?
Alright.
Let's do it.
Oh wait, you've got cavalry in my rear.
No, I don't.
That's not going to work well.
Hey, how's it going, Atomic?
I'm going to have to check everything now, Dan. Look what you'd maybe do. I maybe be paranoid now.
Don't understand why that would be a thing. Me?
We'll begin the attack there.
Battle begins and both of us start advancing our divisions forward. However, because I caught some of Dan's forward deployed cavalry in the open, I am taking the precaution of forming into line early instead of in column. Now, whilst this doesn't do too much in FCN, when you do have a lot of units like this, having them in a block like Dan does is helpful to manoeuvre. In other words, Dan's deployment in columns helps him get an early start on me to the race to the hill. And that's not all of Dan's surprises. Noticing that my centre right is lacking in forward deployed cavalry, Dan launches a strike against my advancing infantry, with my attention distracted. Seriously, what is going on? With my ground battery, are they like behind a hill or something? Dan's men plough into my front line. Oh, that's not nice. Gosh, this is going to be difficult. Not wanting Dan to have extra time setting up his defences, I decide not to form square in the face of the cavalry, hoping that my infantry will be able to push their way through and keep the advance going. Whilst this did buy me extra time, it ended up being a mistake, as my line was forced to grind to a halt. Hoping that Dan's attention would be distracted elsewhere, I launched my own cavalry charge on my left flank, hoping to sweep away some of Dan's infantry that were advancing in exposed column formation. However, Dan was watching closely and formed square just at the last minute. I don't know if he's seen that charge, because I'm trying to pull them back like 4 years ago and they still didn't move.
Oh, some of them are broken.
Yeah, I've got a lot more left, don't worry. Dan's guerrilla cavalry attack had stalled my centre line, but my left flank had secured the heights. I just had to get my infantry up and secure my foothold, but Dan's cavalry was starting to probe and Dan's infantry wasn't far behind. Thankfully though, I was relying on my grand battery to start pummeling away at the summit, but my battery was in a bad position, in a gully rather than on a hill, and so the angle of the guns was definitely not suitable. This has led to Dan being the first to reach the summit across the majority of the battle, excluding his right flank, my left flank. My guns were now also on the other side of the bank, ready to pour fire into Dan's flank. The left flank was looking very strong for me, but I had failed to secure my objectives in both the centre and the right.
Yeah, I can't do anything with that charge, unfortunately.
It was now a literal race towards the summit, both Dan and my infantry marching full speed up the hill to try and get the advantage over the other. However, my cavalry were suffering a little bit from my redeployment of my ground battery. I need to get them in a better position. There we go. That's better. And so I missed a couple of charges. Oh yeah, good square, I didn't even see it. Nice.
Thanks.
Oh, I missed that, yeah. GG, good charge there. Dan then used his momentum to carry on the attack into my infantry. What should have been an easy square from a Swiss infantry turned into an absolute nightmare. They formed square half an hour ago. I pressed the square button. You'll see it on the replay. I pressed the square button a year ago and it did nothing.
Classic French incompetence.
This would be extremely difficult for me to assault if Dan could get his guns in position, and so I threw cavalry against his line to try and break his guns before they could deploy. Meanwhile, on the extreme left, my artillery had helped my men crest the hill and were now firing down into Dan's exposed infantry. This foothold should allow me to drive Dan back and turn his flank in the centre.
It's looking like I'm owning the house right now.
But whilst Dan was busy organising his right flank, I had spotted a gun that he'd left isolated on his left instead of deploying it, and so I launched a cavalry charge to hopefully sneak up on the gun before he realised.
Oh, you bastard!
Good charge, well done.
But now finally I was in a position that I was able to launch the main attack from the centre. And so, 3 French divisions formed up, ready to assault. I needed Dan to divert troops from his right flank, my left, to the middle to help my men progress over the hill. With Dan's gun emplacements, it was becoming difficult to actually assault the position, and so I needed him to weaken himself before assaulting. This was the idea, but with the possibility of also it succeeding. My old guard units would help inspire the rest of my men to push forward. The idea being I would launch them into melee after the initial volleys were fired, but Dan also had all his elite troops in the centre, including his grenadiers, max-cheved just like my old guard. The climax of the battle was about to begin. Whoever won this melee on top of the hill was most likely able to turn the other's flank. But first, it was imperative I deal with Dan's artillery on either flank of his centre line, as with them shooting canister into my men, my line attack would surely break. So I committed cavalry unit after cavalry unit into this artillery to try and break it. That was a close fight. That was a really close fight there. Oh wow, it really was.
Worryingly close.
Done a little bit like it's broken something.
How is it not dead? There we go.
Oh, so close.
No, it took a canister to the face.
Oh, okay. It wasn't quite close as I thought then.
It was not that close.
After losing 2 or 3 cavalry units for nothing, I decided it was time to launch the infantry assault regardless, since Dan's cannons were pretty weak, and hopefully, after the assault happens, I'd be able to sneak a unit through, destroy his artillery. Maybe I'm doing something wrong with my artillery here, but it's not doing particularly well. Just can't seem to get any shots on you. I had already redeployed my ground battery twice now, but for the 3rd time I decided to reload the guns, as I was worried about Dan pushing round my right flank. I wanted the ground battery to shore up my defence, but in doing so, the AI, me to be honest, made a grand mistake.
Oh my god, my artillery is the opportunity to do something so good here.
I know what that is. I've just made a massive mistake. No, leave me alone. Don't
Guys,
do it. Don't be a moron.
Please, guys, you've got the opportunity.
Stupid order movement decided to mess me up then. I did not order them to do that.
Idiots.
Oh my god. I would have assigned then and there. That would have been it. I'm sorry.
Landed an enfilade shot that wiped your entire cannon.
I decided it would be too risky to move my ground battery all the way across the map and probably would be ineffective anyway, so I decided to move it up into canister range to try and support my oncoming attack. Oh no. Oh, go away. Oh, you're such a baboon. Oh my gosh. My poor ground battery never got to see the light of day, did it?
Oh dear.
No! Bro.
that was not
dear,
what I was
Atomic,
really
you
seeing.
idiots. It had been a poor play from me, I'm not gonna say it wasn't, but also a remarkably good play from Dan, especially considering he could absolutely not allow this gun to get into range of his infantry, or they would be completely wiped out. With the ground battery gone, it was now up to the old guard to finish the job. As I said before, my main strategy here is to use my forward infantry as a meat shield, allowing them to do close range volleys before forming square to provide a backbone to the old guard pushing into melee. Hopefully I'll be able to resist any cavalry attacks and drive Dan's infantry off the crest of the hill. It's now or never.
My men are running! Stop doing that!
Yes!
It's time for the reserves, guys. It's time for the reserves.
Take the hill, boys! Forward
No,
the
don't
guard!
take the hill.
Break them!
Do not take the hill. Guys, get back on that cannon right now.
My old guard had succeeded in taking the hill and establishing a foothold. Now was the time for the elite heavy cavalry cuirassier reserves to push through the gap and rout Dan's centre. These horses, clad in steel plates, are extra strong and some of the best cavalry in the game. I had also fully cheved them, so they're really powerful in the charge and excellent in melee. Surely if anything could push through Dan's defences, these would be the boys. 5 units of 150 men each rode forward and into the melee. Talk about bad timing, but I needed to take a quick break, and so Dan had the opportunity to predict what was going to happen next.
So, what I'm planning to do is I'm going to advance these guys up here, and then I'm going to bring these guys up and try and push through the side. And then if I'm able to push through like that, I'm going to split these guys here. And if I can do that and split him here, this whole left side's dead. This is his last chance, these guys. This is his last chance. If I can't hold this off properly, which I'm really scared I won't, I'm in trouble.
With my cuirassiers in the mix and more advancing in reserve, Dan's forces were struggling to hold them back, especially as I was able to outflank his manoeuvring troops, trying to push me on the flank. However, annoyingly, I had to commit my last 3 remaining cuirassiers to stop my whole force crumbling from the attack that Dan was bringing to my flank.
Another unit's run out of ammo. Don't know which one.
I did manage to get them in amongst Dan's troops before he could form square.
Oh, shit. I did not see that. Fair play.
Yes. Nearly took that hill. Even though my reserve cuirassier had punched a hole through Dan's infantry, my infantry were crumbling, and without infantry support, my cavalry were just getting squared upon over and over again, unable to make any progress. It looked like we were finally getting to the end of the assault.
That was scary. That was really scary. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh yeah, you're squaring up, you know what I was going to do. Nice job.
I am not falling for that.
Oh god, it's gone on the right. So it was holding it together. I think it's going to have to be called, guys.
It's been one hell of a fight so far,
Wow,
though.
it has indeed.
I mean, there's been sections where you could tell both of us were obviously looking at one point of the map and not the other.
Oh yeah. But with my old guard broken and my cavalry unable to do anything, I decided to throw in the towel and not make Dan chase down every single last unit. It's been an incredible fight, one with twists and turns. Both of us winning at certain points, but both of us making dreadful mistakes and genius maneuvers alike. But briefly, let's check out the post-battle results screen because it is quite dramatic.
Oh, 17,000.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
I killed
To be fair though, we lost about the same.
Quite equal. Yeah.
Guys, you cannot argue that Dan is a good player now. That was intense.
GGs.
That was intense, and we're going to definitely do it again for sure.
Do you guys know what that means, everyone?
Yes, it means that Dan has won the Peninsula campaign.
Officially, Spain has won the Spanish campaign. We've reclaimed our homeland.
It's 1-1 now. So you've won the Peninsula. I've won Italian. So it's all down to Egypt now.
It's been a long campaign. Thanks for
You're welcome.
being my opponent, Tomic.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for making me lose every single battle I played. And with that, it's definitely all over. This head-to-head campaign has taken 4 months to complete, and we've enjoyed every single moment, every single interaction with you guys, and every single laugh and disaster along the way. I really hope you have enjoyed this finale episode, this look back at the series, and be ready, because Egypt is coming very, very soon. We're actually making a mod pack right now, and I'm definitely going to be improving my skills, maybe, hopefully. And hopefully I'm going to win a battle this time, but we'll have to just wait and see, won't we? Anyway, thanks to Dan, Amantis, to everybody else, all the other YouTubers that have supported this series, and we will see you next time. Take care. What the? Oh.